Hello and welcome to Tolaris University. In this video, we'll show you how to set custom messages for your XPressEntry handheld screen. Now in this video, I'll also show you how to modify other features in our custom display, change the text size, and other cool things that you can do with this XPressEntry feature. Now we assume in this video that you have XPressEntry installed, which you see in the middle of my screen, and that you have your handheld installed, which you see on the far right of my screen. Now to modify the display on your XPressEntry handheld, simply go into Tools, Settings. Now under the reader profiles, we're looking for Custom Display. Now there are quite a few features on this section, and I'll show you what these features can do. The first feature is to either remove the display of the handheld images on the screen. So in this case, my images are displayed. And the second feature is to change the size of the image. In this case, I have a very large image. Let's just reduce this to 200 and see how that affects the screen. You can see that reduces the size of the image. This is important if you want to accommodate a lot of text on the screen, and perhaps you don't want to make the image so big. Let's change that back to 520. Now, next thing you can do is to switch. Either you display the first name first or the last name first. In this case, I am displaying the first name. Jackie is the first name. I can switch this and display the last name, which is Choi. And the next thing you can do is to change the size of the text. You see our text is pretty big. I can reduce this to any size I want. So let's just reduce this to 27. And you see how that displays on the screen. This is useful also if you want to accommodate a lot of text on the screen. This allows you to reduce the text to any amount that you want, and you can just do a trial and error and see how that shows up on the handheld screen. Now the next thing that we can do is to display a custom text. Now we use SQL, so with any basic SQL knowledge, you can pull out any data that is in our XPressEntry database and display as you want on the handheld. So I'll just click Enable Custom Display here. Now I've prepared an SQL to display the first name, last name, company name, and display this on the handheld screen. Now please note that if you want to display the handheld, you may want to include a next line to push the text and format it properly. To do that, you need to include a next line as you see here. Just hit save. And you can see that I have a custom display on my screen now, saying first name, company name, and that is displayed on the handheld screen. Now, if you notice, I put a next line here. That is necessary if you want to format properly, but let's see what happens if I take it out. So you can see that there's no space in between the name and the company name. So if you want to include a space and format it properly, you may want to include that next line. Just do colon and /n, small letter n, close the colon, and include a double bar. Hit save, and you should see that it's formatted properly. Now, the next thing that you can do is to enable an additional custom info. And this is necessary if you want to add some additional info. It is displayed in a smaller font. And this is useful for various things. In this case, I'll just display something like a certification date. I already prepared the SQL here to show you how it pops up on your screen. You can see that the safety certification date is displayed at the bottom of the screen. It's in a smaller text to show that it's an additional custom display. Now, one final thing you can do on this section is to change the messages that come when you're granted access for entry or exit or denied access and etc. So you can change the way the text displays. If you see the default for entry is entry granted, and the default for exit So switch to exit, it's exit granted. I'll also see the default for user not found is user not found. Now I'll just make a change to those three sections. So for entry granted, I'll say access granted. And for exits granted, I'll just say access to exit. And for user not found, I'll just say unknown user. So let's see what happens on the screen. Pay attention to the screen on the handheld side. So for entry, access granted. For exit, this for unknown user. And for exit, you see access to exit granted. You can basically type any text you want in that box and it will display on the screen. Now the final thing you can change is the custom present badge. So you can see on our screen there's a present badge. I can change what that text says, or maybe I want to change that to place badge on the reader. Let's see how that works. If you look on the handheld, you see that that has changed on the handheld. Let's look right here. Now, one final thing I want to show you is when you present a badge on the handheld, you may want to change the number of seconds that the handheld displays the badge for. You can make it display for a longer time or a shorter time. In this case, we're displaying it for about 5 seconds. Let's reduce that to 1 second and see what happens. Right now, it displays for about 5 seconds. So you see it displays for a few seconds before it goes away. If we reduce this to 1 second, let's see how quickly that goes away. Very quickly. And you can also increase the number of seconds to place the last badge that was presented on the screen for a longer time or a shorter time, depending on what you want to do. Now this brings an end to the demonstration of this feature. Please feel free to reach out to us at helpdesk@Telarus.com for any technical queries or sales@Telarus.com for any product inquiries. Thank you.